I want to go back to 1997, a religious
Religious
studies
studies
major.
major, yeah.
Yep. And I'm thinking, all right, so dudes in the shower, cool. We have those thoughts for sure. But at what point are you like, you know what? This is my life's work. Afformations is what I'm going to take because I've been reading all this. And does that mean I ditch religious studies? What did that look like for you, Noah? How did you end up ultimately doing what you do now? How did you know this was my path?
That's a great question. I love that question. And so what happened was I literally ran out of the shower and I ran to my Apple computer and I said, "Holy cow, this is the coolest thing that I've ever heard." And that was my first thought. And the second thought was, I can't believe no one's ever thought of this before. Because it's literally been sitting in front of us the whole time and I'm the first person to identify it. I'm like, wow, seriously? And I was like, yeah, I knew that I was because I'd read every book on the subject and no one ever talked about this. And so I said, well, what am I going to do with this? And so I realized I've got to write a book. And I said, yeah, this is my life's work. And so I actually wrote a book in late 1997, and it was called Permission to Succeed. And then I actually met Jack Canfield from, I'm sure we know, from Chicken Soup for the Soul, because he was actually winning an award at the University of Massachusetts, where he went to school, which was right down the street from where I went to school. And so I met Jack and I showed him my self-published book called Permission to Succeed, and he loved it. And he said, yeah, I'll send this to my publisher. And 8 weeks later, I got a call from the Chicken Soup people, and they offered me my first publishing contract. And you can actually see it. There it is right there. Anyway, my book called Permission to Succeed. That was my first book. And now 25 books later, these are some of the books I published, and these are some of them in other languages, in 18 languages so far. But yeah, this is exactly what started me on that journey, was because I saw and I knew that no one had ever talked about this before, that this was something unique and different in the annals of self-help. And I've gotten thousands of stories from people around the world who've used my Afformations method to literally change their life in a very, very short amount of time. Because what I want the folks listening to realize is something kind of cool and pretty powerful, which is you're already doing this. See, every human being on this planet is already using my Afformations method, but there's only two problems. Number one is they don't know they're doing this, right? Because most people, of course, haven't been taught this. They haven't been shown the truth of this method, number one. And number two, they're using it in a very disempowering way.